Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the new KGTropicals studio. Pardon our dust while we get this thing built. I'm super excited about this new setup because I believe we're going to be able to bring you much better content, including a new series that I'm really excited about. It's going to be so much fun. Make sure you subscribe to get that. But for today, let's continue on with our series talking about issues that we would consider aquarium nightmares. This video is all about equipment failure. If you're anything like me, you worry a lot. I worry all the time, and usually it's about stupid things. Some issues keep me up at night, and some are just annoying. Well, if you're a worrywart like me, you no doubt worry about your aquarium equipment failing. What am I going to do if my heater all of a sudden fails, or my filter? I love my fish, and I certainly don't want to lose them because I didn't have a plan for if this happens. Well, that's why you're lucky to have me, because I'm the guy that's going to ease your mind and help you feel better about what to do if these things go wrong. Let's start off with heater failure. It's no big secret that heaters fail. It doesn't matter what brand you're using or how much you paid for it. Heaters consume a ton of energy to heat the water, and all that hard work makes them wear out pretty quick. So what do you do if you come home from work one day, you look in your tank and all your fish are like, now you think I'm gonna say, well, if you were a smart person, you would have had a backup heater already and you just stick that in your tank, turn it on, and keep on going. And that's true. Well, except for the part about being a smart person. You can be a smart person that doesn't have a backup heater. But listen, I get it. Heaters are super expensive and most of us can't have one just laying around as a backup. But yes, having a backup is going to be the best case scenario, but I also realize not everyone can do that. Heaters are expensive, so what do we do if your heater fails and you don't have a backup? Well, there's 3 tricks that you can try. The first one is really easy, the second one's a lot of work, and the third one is, well, downright crazy. But all 3 of these will work to help get you by until you can afford to go get another heater. The first is to place a small space heater in the room and crank it up. Most of us are going to have a small space heater laying around and we can just put it in the room and heat the whole room up. Surely the room being heated will raise the temperature of the aquarium water, right? I mean, it might be extreme, but we've got to be serious about this.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Now maybe you have a space heater, but you're using it in another room that's more important to have heat in it. Well, that's when you're going to want to give this number 2 trick a try. This one's a lot of work, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Do about a 50% water change in that tank using warm water. Now let me stress this very clearly. We do not want to use boiling hot water, folks. We're not trying to cook our fish. We just want to heat the water up a little bit. Doing a water change with warm water will definitely help keep your fish happier, but if I'm being honest, I'd only do this if the tanks were in a room that was super cold. I mean, if your tank's in your living room that stays 72 to 74 degrees, I wouldn't freak out and start dumping warm water in there. But if it's really cold, this will surely help.
Don't call me Shirley.
Now the last trick to try is the craziest in my opinion, but that would be to raise the temperature in your entire house up to wherever it needs to be. Now again, if my house is at 72 to 74, probably would not do that. But I'm sure everybody watching this has heat in their house, so this is available if it's an emergency. Just don't come crying to me if you get your power bill that month and the extra amount on your power bill from raising the heat up so much is enough to go out and buy 3 new aquarium heaters. Now this one I've had happen to me, and believe me when I tell you, it sucks. Just like anything else, you can sometimes run into issues with your filter failing too. I mean, these are small pieces of equipment run by pumps, and pumps can sometimes fail. What do you do if yours does? Okay, the first thing I want you to do is check your impeller. The impeller in your filter is a small magnetized device that spins within the pump. The spinning is what draws the water through the filter. If there's a piece of debris in the impeller's chamber, it can stop it from spinning. Removing the impeller and cleaning it off along with cleaning out the chamber sometimes can get things going again and you'll be safe. I've received tons of emails from people with this problem. Their filter just died on them, and I've gone through the process of how to service the impeller in it, They did that and it immediately fixed the problem. Let me tell you, those people were super happy. I could have used that as an opportunity to sell them a new filter, but I don't work that way. You're welcome. But what if that doesn't work? What if you've had your filter forever and it's just dead? What do you do to keep things going until you can get us to send you the new filter that you ordered off of keepfishkeeping.com? Well, this one's real simple. There's really two things that you need to do. The first is to keep the water moving by way of either an air stone with an air pump or even a circulation pump if you have one, or you can just stick an old filter on there that you've had laying around in the back and just stick that on there just to keep the water moving. See, this is why fish keepers never throw anything away. I swear, every fish keeper I've ever met is a total hoarder. Making sure the water is still moving is going to keep oxygen flowing through the tank, keeping your fish from suffocating and killing off your bacteria. So now that you have the water moving, how do we keep it clean while you wait? I mean, you ordered your filter from us before 2 p.m., which means it was sent out the same day, but you're still at the mercy of the Postal Service. Keeping your water clean is easy, but it's going to take a little work on your part because, well, it's going to be you that's going to need to keep the water clean. Your fish are now swimming around in a toilet that hasn't been flushed, so you need to flush it for them by doing water changes. Test your water every day to make sure everything's good and do water changes when necessary. I mean, you're a fish keeper, so you're used to doing water changes, so this thing really shouldn't be that big of a deal. Wait, sponge filters are literally just a sponge. They can't possibly fail. Oh yes, they can. I can't tell you how many tanks I've looked into that have so much buildup on the sponge filters that there's no way they could actually be drawing water through them. They're so dirty, they look like a big fat brown Twinkie.
That's a big Twinkie.
The solution to this one is really simple. Get off your ass and clean the sponge filter. I mean it. Also, look at the bright side of this. This one isn't going to cost you any money. It's just going to cost you a little bit of effort. And you know what? The fact that it's built up like that is completely your fault, so I don't feel bad for you. But what if your sponge filter is clean and there's just barely any bubbles coming out? Well, this could be from one of two things. First is there could be some debris in the center of the sponge filter clogging it up, which is pretty easy to fix because it just means you need to clean it out. Or it could be worse. Your air pump could be failing. Air pump failure is a tough one because you're going to have some people that are going to say, hey, take your screwdriver, take that daggone thing apart and replace all the nonsense inside of there. You'll get it back up and running again. I personally don't think that makes any sense unless you have one of those big giant air pumps that's putting air into like 50 or 60 tanks. Then yeah, spend the money, get you a little rebuild kit and take care of that. But if you just have a small filter that's pumping air into your 20-gallon tank, just buy a new one. They're cheap. Once again, while you're waiting for us to send you your new air pump, you'll still want to have something moving the water in the tank till the new one comes in. Just like with the filter, this could be a small backup pump, circulation pump, or really whatever it is that you have. How long does this video need to be live before someone says, I just walk up to the tank and blow into the airline every once in a while? Okay, this one's serious. Probably the most serious of all, because if your lights go out, all of your fish are going to die. And I'm sorry, but this hobby's over for you. Of course, I'm kidding. Light failure is the least critical of all of the issues that we're talking about here. I guess unless you have like a super high-tech reef or something like that. But if that's the case, why are you watching this video? Yeah, I know it's probably also a serious thing if you have some kind of expensive high-tech planted tank. But listen, if you've gone through the expense of setting something like that up, I'm willing to bet you already have a contingency plan for if your lights go out. But for us mere mortals, what do we do if our lights go out? Well, this one's pretty simple. We go to our local fish store or our favorite online store and we get a new light. And in the meantime, while you wait for that, just rely on the ambient light in the room. All right, listen to me very carefully now. There has never been a fish that died because the lights didn't come on. These fish could survive in complete darkness. So Don't freak out if this happens to you. Again, unless it's a reef or a high-tech planted tank, you know. I had a surprise spawn of peacock cichlids back like 12 years ago, and when I went to clean out my canister filter like 6 months later, guess what I found? I found about a 2-inch peacock in there. Yeah, his colors were a little off. He was pretty dim because he had been in complete darkness for 6 months, but he survived a very long time, unfortunately, until he died with about 30 other fish when my filter failed. It's kind of ironic to bring that up in this of all videos. So there you go. Now you know what to do if you have an equipment failure in your aquarium. You don't have to panic. You can just calm down and address the issues without losing your mind. If you want to see more episodes of Aquarium Nightmares, you can click this playlist right here. It's going to help you out with all kinds of nightmare scenarios. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.